there's been a lot of speculation as to whether or not Senator Kyrsten Sinema is going to run for re-election. Although she has yet to make an official decision, she doesn't have to make one until the beginning of April. We did get a clue indicating she's not intending to run again, which is her very weird spending habits. Daily Beast reported that on Monday, Daily Beast reported on Sinema's unusual spending of $210,000 in taxpayer funds on private chartered air travel since 2020, a practice that she herself had tried to ban just 6 years earlier. She co-authored a bill that would have prevented congresspeople and senators from taking first class or private flights with taxpayer dollars. But now, of course, once she gets a taste of that money, she's got to switch it up. But that is only the beginning of the bizarre things that she's been spending your and my money on. Her latest campaign finance filing revealed her comfort with spending donor money on just about any perk under the sun. Stays at five-star European hotels, luxury vehicles, 2 that she's bought in the past year, first-class airfare, and splurges at plush West Coast vineyards. On top of all of that, Sinema's personal security expenses carry a staggering burn rate of more than $100,000 a month, most of it to one person, Tulsi Gabbard's sister. I also just want to remind everybody of how in 2020, Kyrsten Sinema did a little, she did an internship at a vineyard. That's how she was spending her time then. And she did get paid for it. She took a paid internship at a vineyard, and she has sent some of her donor money to that vineyard that she did an internship at, and thousands of dollars to other wineries and vineyards throughout California and Oregon, 2 states that she does not represent in the Senate, just as a reminder to anyone who may have forgotten. But her personal political action committee, which is so ironically named the Getting Stuff Done PAC, also paid $4,000 in first class airfare in August, specifically to the big tobacco conglomerate Altria. Beyond the private airfare, the PAC also underwrote the Arizona senator's stays in July and October 2023 at the 5-star La Roche Hotel and Spa in Paris for a total of $7,600, and paid the tab for her $2,500 stay in July at the Edition Hotel in Madrid, billed as a luxury lifestyle urban 5-star resort. So as I mentioned, she's also been paying a mind-boggling amount of money in security fees, $100,000 a month, including thousands of dollars for concert tickets so that her security guards could accompany her to concerts that she was attending, and also hundreds of dollars on bicycle apparel, which I assume means that she was buying fancy ritzy bike shorts for her security detail. That is the most liberal
thing ever. Bicycle accessories.
It is so insane. But she, just so everyone knows, she labeled that as security detail equipment. It was very essential that they have these $100 bike shorts. But as I mentioned, it's an indicator that she's not going to run for re-election. So quickly, I'll just tell you all why her ridiculous spending sort of hints to that. In April, Sinema and her advisors laid out a schedule for her decision that set a deadline of September 30th for an initial round of public opinion polling and research into challengers, include Representative Ruben Gallego, a Democrat, and Carrie Lake, a Republican television anchor turned politician who narrowly lost the governor's race in 2022, one of Trump's biggest suck-ups. By the end of December, Sinema would have a campaign staff in place, and none of those things have happened, and she hasn't been putting any money towards it. There's also an indicator that she hasn't gotten any of the thousands of signatures that are required for her to show up on the ballot. But with all of that, I mean, there's so much to unpack here. But all I could think of while doing this story is that she was selling her crap on Facebook Marketplace. It was a story we covered like a year ago, but she's got all of this. She spent $6 million last year election related and official Senate things. I mean, this woman is drowning in cash. She didn't need to be selling her old bicycle equipment on Facebook Marketplace.
Well, no, actually, Ray, there is a distinction though. So she actually has almost no money in her retirement account. She went in as a progressive who was, working class person, et cetera. So she's actually not rich. And I think that that's one of the reasons why she's spending like a drunk sailor before she gets kicked out of the Senate by her voters. So that explains a lot of this. So if you were trying to win re-election, you theoretically collect all this money, so you spend it on that. But she's not doing that at all. Her second biggest expense theoretically was, or like the biggest expense that had anything to do with campaigning was digital advertising. She spent $141,000 on that. Well, that seems like a decent amount of money. No, that was a drop in the bucket compared to what she spent on security. To Tulsi Gabbard's sister alone, she sent $1.2 million. How much security do you need? And so she buys the two cars, one $77,000, another one $71,000 within the span of about a year. She gets to keep both of those for security, right? And then for Tulsi Gabbard's sister, I don't know what kind of deal they have, but she never worked in security before. All of a sudden, she gets all that money, and where does that go? God knows. Why do you have to stay at posh hotels like La Roche Hotel and Spa in Paris? What does that have to do with anything? And then they explain in this piece that she'll go and technically, if you do a meeting with a donor, you get to book the whole trip for and say it's expenses for fundraising, right? So whenever she's going to do any vacation, she'll meet with one donor and sometimes she'll meet with a donor so that she can pretend to meet with other donors so she can stay at other 5-star hotels all across Europe. Our politicians are crooks. That's what they are.
Even before this story came out, it was just something about it. I was like, man, this woman does not care if she gets another job in the Senate. She should be plenty good as a lobbyist or something like that. But I was like, man, she don't care. But so this isn't surprising at all. It is quite funny. Yeah, I think that was a good point about why she's spending all the money. She may not have an opportunity to just blow it like this again. But yeah, she's always seemed like somebody who's just like, well, being senator is on my resume, which I guess is a pretty powerful thing to have on your resume. So
yeah, last two things here as we're running out of time. She spent $6,000 on wineries in California and Oregon. What does $6,000 in wine have to do with being a senator from Arizona? This is so, like, they're not even trying to hide what kind of crooks they are. And finally, she takes the trips in the plane for Altria and FedEx because she's all about donors. So two of her top donors were private equity firms KKR and the Carlyle Group. So I have a fun prediction for you guys. Once she's out of the Senate, which will be very soon, she will work for either KKR or Carlyle Group. And for the billions that she got them in tax cuts, she protected the main tax cut that applies to private equity firms. They will hire her at millions of dollars a year to pay her back because this is all to bribe Kyrsten Sinema so they can get billions in tax cuts. That's how the crooks in Washington work.
Hey, thanks for watching that video. We really appreciate it, guys. And we appreciate it if you become members because that allows us to be independent, honest, progressive, all the things that you don't get from corporate media. And all of that is because of you guys. Hit the join button below and become one of us, become a Young Turk.